across live now to Freedom Convoy VP and spokesperson BJ Dichter. BJ Dichter, thank you very much for joining us here on RT International.
Thank you for having me. I'm going to
start off with a very simple question for you. What are the main demands of your movement?
Very simple. We want the COVID mandates removed, and we also want the COVID passport system, the QR code system for entering the country. We want that program abandoned. That's it. Not much more than that.
That's it. There have been reports claiming that the citizens in Ottawa are a bit fed up of the Freedom Convoy and some of the disruption it's caused. What do you make of those reports?
I would describe that as fake news. So you see a lot of that from the Canadian broadcaster CBC, Toronto Star, CTV. These are not credible sources. That's why they have not been invited to our press conference. The general vibe and the feel on the ground is amazing. It's a party. People who live in the city come up to us. We're with you. This shouldn't be tolerated. And we get this across the political spectrum. Like, it's not like we only get either conservatives or we only get people on the left or whatever. It's all walks of life. And, they're having a party. They're dancing. They're having music. The vibe is brilliant. They're doing soup kitchens for the homeless. And they have taken their community engagement level to beyond a level that any politician is even capable of in Canada. They can learn a lot from these truckers. It's amazing.
So why do you think the Freedom Convoy has been portrayed in this way, and to what extent do you think it's undermined your cause?
Well, because the Trudeau government, the last bailout money they gave to the fake news industry was $600 million, I believe, last year. And from what I remember, it's a total of $1.2 billion to keep these old, antiquated news agencies that nobody watches, which is another reason I banned them from our press conference, because they'll come in, they'll call us names, and then nobody's going to watch them. A few politicians will watch, other journalists will watch them, but the vast majority of people are getting their news now online. One of the reasons I liked RT, and I was very pleased when you reached out, because you're very effective in utilizing modern new media platforms. But these other platforms don't engage that way, and if they do, it's just a smear contest. So we don't need any of that. But it's overwhelming, the amount of support that we're getting from people here. It's amazing. I love it.
Well, we certainly appreciate your kind words about our channel, and you just touched on this a little bit in your last answer. There's been a lot of media attention diverted to the central figures of the protest. There's Patrick King and James Border, and some of their posts alleging nationalist sentiment and COVID-19 conspiracies. What's your response to that? What do you make of that?
They're not actually in any way affiliated with us. We actually posted a message right in the beginning when I was involved that these people are not involved with the convoy. I mean, they're involved. They're hangers-on, if you will. They joined, but this gentleman, Patrick King, I've never met him. He's not on our board of directors. He's not a trucker. The only truck that he owns is a Tonka truck. This other person, James Boulder, it's funny. Nobody really cared until there were millions of dollars in the GoFundMe. And then all of a sudden, all these hangers-on and opportunists wanted to get involved and take over the movement. But luckily, Tamara and I have a very, very strong bond, as she does with her crew and team that she assembled in Alberta, in Medicine Hat, who are just lifelong friends of hers. And we stuck together. And there's many people that are going to try to claim, oh, it was me. And you know what? Those people are ancillary groups that are trying to get involved. And you know what? If they behave and they don't promulgate this extremist rhetoric, you can come join us. But don't go to the media and say that you're part of our group, because you're not. It's not fair. It's not fair to the truckers that are sitting out there that have been there for almost 2 weeks, that they just want legislation passed so they can get back to their lives. And these opportunists are ruining everything, or at least trying to ruin everything for them. But luckily, the corporate media here, their credibility has been so massively damaged over the past several years, it seems to have very little effect. And most truckers just take it in stride, because truckers are not afraid of colorful language as well.
Yeah, I certainly bet that they've hardened on the road to stuff like this. And again, staying with the media, there have been some kind of very interesting, like outlandish reports. For example, CBC aired a story suggesting that Russians were behind it, or that the Americans well, the Russians are guilty of everything, obviously, and that
Yes,
Americans were funding the protests for their own goals. I mean, I saw you just laugh at that. Is that how these reports have been received on the ground?
Yes, you now that just articulated the credibility of Canada's mainstream media. You tell people that, and everybody bursts up in laughter. It's hysterical, and I hope they continue to do it because all it does is help us.
And talking of helping you, I guess some of the videos of the truckers and the atmosphere down there helping the locals would also go for your cause, but that's not really had as much airtime as some other stories.
No, but like I just did yesterday, Stephen Crowder. I started my morning in a Tim Hortons, just having a conversation with Stephen Crowder. And last I checked, it had, I don't know, 500,000 views. Dave Rubin just uploaded our interview about an hour ago. That will likely get a few thousand views. I really don't care about the fake news media that needs government money to keep sustained and doesn't have an audience. Yeah, it helps fuel a little bit of the rumor mill. And that usually is limited to people who live in suburban areas in the larger cities. But that's it. Nobody below the age of 40 years old even watches many of these platforms. So it's fine.
You've got a certain level of support from Conservative Party members. Do you feel this is genuine, or is it part of sort of a political point scoring?
Politicians are never genuine. And I learned that years ago when I did get involved in the Conservative Party, and I know a lot of these people. There are a few good people, there's no question, but they lack courage and they lack strength. Now, and one of the things we have accomplished is the Conservative Party did have a fake conservative who was following Justin Trudeau off a cliff towards socialism. And he is the first sacrificial lamb in the political sphere. There will be others. There's going to be more. But that, I think, we can claim victory over it. And because people are just fed up of politicians who are just, every decision is polled. It's obnoxious. Like, none of them can ever make a decision for themselves, even if it's wrong. People are going to get things wrong sometimes. That's fine. But if every response is either focus grouped, or every meeting has to be staged in some public space, you're never going to grow and inspire people. And that's what's lacking in politics, is inspiration. And that's why you see this. That's why you see the entire country coalescing around these truckers who bravely have sacrificed everything to come here, because this is the opposition. They don't have a vote, but you know what they do? They have money, and they can give money. Like, people are donating to the GoFundMe. They don't care about the money. I don't know if you saw our largest donation. It was $42,600. And the name on the donation was www.liar.com. Well, if you search who owns that domain, it's a gentleman by the name of Elon Musk. So that's how far this has gone on the global stage. And those are the people that are supporting us. Yet the fake news CBC is telling us, well, these violent truckers, nobody's supporting us. Yeah, why don't you, CBC, come down to the soup kitchen and try to feed some homeless people, or help us clean the war memorial, right?
Well, yeah, certainly some big names behind your movement. Unfortunately, that's all we've got time for today. But thank you for finding time in your busy schedule to talk to us here on RT International. That's BJ Dichter, Freedom Convoy VP and spokesperson. Thank you very much.
Thank you.